Hi guys and girls, it's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. We're back with the black acoustic Ibanez. It's got a delaminating bridge. We talked about the stickers in the previous video. Yeah, from after washing it, they want to try to start pulling up, but customer really wants to leave them on there, so I can't treat the fretboard with any linseed oil, and it needs it. But today's video is going to be about trying to do some minor CA glue surgery on the bridge. I'm going to attempt to show how I put a little bit of CA glue on a razor blade and let it wick in underneath the bridge so that we can stick it back down on there. The stuff dries really quickly. You gotta work quickly with it, but the problem is it's a black finish, and it's possible that some of that glue can get onto the finish. We can clean it off later, but let's get to work and see how this goes. I have confidence. So you see our little guitars back. I have a 12 in there. Usually I use a 4, refer to the previous video. What I do is I just kind of tap whenever I get an acoustic guitar, and I try to see just how well the bridge is laminated to the face of the guitar. It's always the back edge, because when the string tension is always pulling this way and the headstock is pulled, so there's always tension trying to go in this direction. I rarely see any delaminating on this side, but over here, damn. So what we're going to do is take some, I have some medium, this is relatively thin stuff. It's really incredible stuff. I keep it in the freezer. I only pull it out in emergencies. We have a brand new fresh razor blade. I learned this trick many moons ago, even to repair cracks in fretboards and whatnot. What we're going to do is put a little dollop of that CA glue on the edge of this razor blade. Sorry about getting out of the movie there. And then we're just going to hold the guitar up like this, so the camera may not pick everything up, and we're going to just tap it right there where that gap is. And the idea is that drip of CA glue will actually, just like solder, will wick and pull down into that hole, that gap. And all we need to get is just a couple of drops in there, and of course try not to get any out here on the face of the guitar. Tricky, not easy at all, because this stuff is incredibly difficult to work with. And basically, you just get a drop of it on there. And I don't know if the camera's picking up on that, but there's just a little drop right on the edge. Now, this is where we get really scared. Bionic eyes on as usual. And I'm just going to touch it right to that, and hopefully it will wick down into it. Some of it did go in there, but not nearly enough. I'm going to try it one more time with a little bit more. That's the other problem with this stuff. Once you open it, and do not get this stuff on your fingers. Glue them together. It will literally continue to push up some drips here. Don't like that. I may have to actually get I'm going to pause briefly. I'm going to try to get a syringe to push it down in there. It does not want to wick. So that was what I was afraid of. Stand by. Okay, razor blade, no bueno. Did not cooperate. So we have a syringe on the very tip of this, and we only want just the smallest amount to go in there. Set it down, unscrew it, because it will continue to wick up through that syringe, and because it's cold inside and hot out here, it will continue to wick up through there. And then we got to work relatively quickly to pull out get that glued down on there, which it is working nicely. Bear with me, I'm sorry about my bald head if that's all you can see, but I got just enough down in there that it is going to pull up and close that gap and secure that corner. I'm going to pause while this dries for a few minutes. Okay, we're back, and oh, by the way, we had success with the gluing of the bridge, no problem. We're good. That's where our real problem was. So that's all secured. I'm happy with that repair. I was checking out hardware as I do on every job that I do. We had a stripped out screw here, so yeah, you never know what you're going to run into. So we're back to just the tiniest little boy. Somebody really whopped that out with a lot of too much screw. The screw's bent. I don't know how you can bend a screw in hardware like that. They only need to be snug. So we're back to our regular repair. Toothpick tip. I'm just going to try to get just the smallest little tiny amount and then put it in there. And well, you've seen this repaired before, you know how it goes. Just the tiniest little amount. And of course, you can never put just the tiniest little amount. And what you do is you get a little bit of that white glue on the end of your toothpick. You measure it for depth and push that down in the hole. So when the new screw, I have a new screw to put in there because the one that came out was bent. I don't know how they bent it. I don't want to know. When that new screw goes in there against that little piece of toothpick that I put in there with some white glue, it will find purchase and tighten up the peg head, the tuner, as it were. Okay? So we're going to let that dry just for a few minutes. There's a little schmutz on there, but we'll fix that. So all I was doing basically was checking for tightening up hardware. You know, I always put a screwdriver on all the fasteners to make sure everything is snug. That one was a little loose. And I found a stripped out screw, of course, because my name is Blackjack and these things only happen to me. Looks like we got mismatched screws down here too. Who in the wide world of sports was working on this guitar before? If you don't know what you're doing, leave it be. Bring it to me. As the song goes, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Okay, so that's the bottom strap lock, and it's also the plug for the it's because it's a it's electronic. You have a pickup underneath the bridge. I'm going to pause slightly and let that glue dry just for, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll come back, put the hardware back in there, and then we're going to restring it and set it up. Stand by. Okay, we're back. So elapsed time, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes. You know, white glue takes longer than that to set up, of course. It's not like CA glue, but it's enough for, you know, to be able to put it back together now. So what we're going to do is, all right, put the washer back, put the bushing back, and that will find and square up our tuner, our machine. We don't want it to be too tight just yet because we have to put our new screw in, and then we can start restringing it and doing the setup. I keep these kind of screws around. I have a bunch of leftover stuff. Right there. Sorry about my head. I can already feel that it's starting to find a purchase because we put our little guy in there, our little toothpick with some white glue, and that will hold. When that sets up, it'll never come out. And of course, I don't know why is it always the G string? You know my favorite joke. The G string on every guitar ever made is like the bad kid in class. As soon as the teacher turns around, the G string is throwing erasers. I don't know why that is. It's one of those cosmic things that we just don't know the answer to. So that repair is finished. Everything else is snugged up. We had already cleaned up the fretboard. I can't treat it with linseed oil. They're digging their heels in and want to keep these stickers on here. They feel kind of fuzzy and I don't like them, but what do I know? Strings. Okay, so Diodarios. We're going to go with a low E first. And we've seen this exercise many, many times. Take your string, put it in the hole, and pull it up until you feel it hit the bottom, and drive it home. That's all. Set up home. What happened? Is this thing buggered up and I'm not aware of it? Maybe that's why they were trying to push them in there too far. Doesn't quite seem like they want to find purchase. Okay, I don't like that. Stand by. Yeah, it seems like the holes are pushed out. I went and got some new, just to check, got some new pegs, but alright, well, as I always say, really, it's the string tension that holds them down in there, so want to see how this turns out. Once you start pulling on that and get it around here, we should be okay. But they're not making. I like to hear that little grunt sound when they go into the bridge. It's in there. It's snug. Not as much as I'd like. Pencil in the nut. Put a little graphite in there. You know, it seems like that doesn't matter, but I'm telling you that it does. Especially on a 6-string, not so much on a bass. I never do it on my bass guitars. Let's see, we got everything turned around here where I can work on it. Yeah, they're all facing the right way. Okay, so you know this exercise. It's going to live here, and it's already living there. It comes over the saddle. So this is our position here and here. One, and maybe a little bit more. Bend it. I think that might be too much, but we'll see. Go down to the bend and get your first wrap above the string peg hole and every successive wrap underneath it. And we're shooting for 3. We want to see 3, even on small machines like this. Yeah, I think I might have too much on there. Well, let's see. I'm going to do this first one by hand because I'm not 100% sure that that string peg is going to hang down there. Oh yeah, we're good. No, we're not. That string peg was trying to pull out of there. Don't like that. I'm going to have to try to shim that somehow. I don't like it. Oh yeah, it's trying to pop out. It is not staying down in there. Now I know why. Not like, as I said, I tried to use some new ones in there. Yeah, it's okay. This may be unsettling to some viewers. Let me find. Pause. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, this is a really cheap bridge, and these things were hammered down in there when I got it. Now it seems to be holding, but it definitely pulled up, and I don't like that. I tried tapping it down in there ever so slightly, but now I know why we had the problems that we had. Well, the string tension seems to be holding it in there. I'm going to continue. And we'll see where this leads, because they were all loose, every single one of them. And when I got it, they were stuck in there. I had to reach in and pop them out. So wow. Very interesting. And as I was tuning that low E, it started to actually pull that peg up. Yeah, they're not wedging down in there the way they should. And this is the unsettling part. Just to give it a little drive home. We'll see. Yeah, see, that tuning peg, that string peg just popped out of there. Without tension on it, it's trying to pop out. I don't know that they'll hold. I've never seen that. And I know the only fix for it is to delaminate this bridge and put a new bridge in there. These are, I can wrap some shims around that, but that's not the right way to fix it. Let's see if they pull up with tension and stay put. I did the low E, I'm on the A string. You never know what you're going to run into. Now, physics tell me that once there's tension, they can't pull up. Once they have lateral tension going this way, they can't pull up. Yeah. So you can't pull it out once it has lateral tension on it, but that is not normal. I'm going to tell you, I don't like that. But I think string tension and neck relief tension, neck tension will hold them in there, but I don't like it. You never know what you're going to run into. I'm going to pause the video just to save some time to get the rest of the strings on, and then I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. We got it all strung up. The moment of truth is, yeah, we got a little bit of jive going on here still, but the main part that was busted up just barely catches now, or before the whole thing was sliding under there. It's holding better. This bridge needs to be replaced, and I'll tell you why. These pegs, the string pegs, do not want to seat properly. Now, the lateral movement of the strings going that way and the natural tension is pulling the string pegs. I can't pop them out of there. They don't seem to want to come out, but they did not want to seat, and it was a little unsettling. I had to kind of tap them down in there as I was stringing it up. Now, that being said, it seems like it's going to hold tune. If it doesn't, strings are brand new, so they're going to stretch. They're all going a little flat, which means it's still trying to settle. The next thing I want to check is neck relief and string height, of course. Get my little gauges. First thing I want to check is neck relief. This is standard in every guitar, even the video there. Yeah. Capo at the first fret, 12/1000ths of an inch. You hold the body joint. You're going to come down to the 7th fret. It's a little loose. I'm going to probably tighten that up slightly. Hold on. No. Yes. It's negotiable. I don't think that's where our issues are going to be. I think our issues are going to be here. This is going to continue to maybe try to flex on us until it settles completely. These are not seating in there, but the lateral pulling of the string tension is holding them. They can't come out. I mean, unless you really, jam on them. just out of curiosity, what is our string height? It wasn't terrible when I checked it when I got the guitar. Acoustics are generally a little bit taller than an electric would be. Let's take a look. Not horrible. I would say it's, for an acoustic, not bad. Right around 664s. I would like to cut the nut down, or the saddle down, but I really do not want to take it apart again to do that. We're a 64th over where I would like to be. And again, that is negotiable, and they do go down as you get to the higher strings. So it's an entry-level guitar. There's not a lot in the budget on this. I did clean it up. I did do some repairs on it. We got the bridge was delaminating. I'm going to keep this guitar for a couple of days and see if it settles properly. It doesn't sound bad. Let's plug it into an amp and see what it does. It actually feels pretty good, considering that I don't like a couple of things about it. Bear with me. Get a little juice in my benchtop amp here. Input. We drive on. Get this stuff out of the way. Actually, it's staying in tune. It doesn't sound bad at all. The intonation's fine. Acoustics, you can't really change that a whole lot. I'm going to live with this. I'm going to clean it up some more. I'm going to let it settle for a couple of days. We had a couple of hiccups. Definitely needs a new bridge, but if it plays and these don't pop out, the thing that bugs me out is when I got it and I destrung it, I had to literally pop them out of there. But when I went to restring it and put them in there, they didn't want to seat, and as I was winding up the strings, they were trying to pull out. They wouldn't. Normally when you put these in there, they make a little grunt as you're putting them in, and these are not doing that. And I went and got some known good ones, brand new ones, figuring maybe these are worn out. They're not. But look, they're not coming out, and it seems like it's going to hold tune. It's playing nicely. It's actually staying in tune, and it's playing. I'm going to call that a win. We didn't have a lot of budget in this guitar, as I said, not to blow my own horn and keep reiterating. Still don't like the stickers, but we made this guitar play as well as it can possibly play for the young man that's going to get this guitar back. Again, a couple of days I'm going to keep it, let it settle. I'm going to continue to check the adjustments. It's blackjack with 396 guitars, as I say it all the time. Number one, you never know what you're going to run into when you're working on guitars. Number two, every player deserves to have their instrument play as well as it can possibly play. And we accomplished that today. We did a couple of repairs. We kept it a budget repair for this young man. And I'm confident that he's going to get a really nice little guitar back to play. Definitely in better condition than when I received it. Click on like, click on subscribe. It helps me out. Be kind to everyone. We'll talk soon.